Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Now that there's democracy in Syria and the right people are in charge of Syria, what's going to happen with the Russian bases over there, military bases? Well, Lavrov tells us they are going to restructure them. Okay, we're going to see in what way. That's the first topic. Second one. Mr. Medvedev, Dmitry Medvedev, was activated. Well, that's not good news for some baboons and very good news for others. Mr. Medvedev started his pilgrimages around the world. First stop, North Korea. Isn't that fantastic? And why is he North Korea? Well, I would let you know. Third topic, India takes advantage of the imbeciles fighting. That is in the economic sphere, or in this case, oil production. India will buy even more Russian oil from Russia, obviously, against Trump's warning threats and blackmails and blah, blah, blah. And why? I will show you why. One of the reasons, obviously, the other guys are worse than these guys. So that's the main one. And the second one is price. The Russians gave some little incentives to the Indians. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one, I'm going to let you know again what could be the possibility why in the near future Belgium will cry like a bitch. And why? I will show you. When Russia is going to smack Belgium, you're going to know. And you're not going to say, well, again, the Russians are at it. Well, remember today when I'm going to give you at least two pieces of information. One, Belgium will continue to provide Ukraine, who's fighting Russia, with some F-16s. And we found out how the Russian assets will be backed. So in case the Russians are going to retaliate for the frozen assets, which mostly are in Belgium, somehow Belgium. It's a little corporation over there that has control of certain things. We're going to find out who's going to pay the bill when Russia will go into courts and attack it and probably win. Can you guess who will be the one paying the bill? The taxpayers. All right, these are the topics for today. Let's start with the first one, with Russia's military role in Syria. All right, now that we plugged in the microphone, we can speak a little bit better. Russia today. Russia must redefine military role in Syria, according to Sergei Lavrov. Bases could be transformed into humanitarian hubs to facilitate the delivery of goods to African nations. All right, the mission of the Russian forces in Syria needs to be revised, he said. Could be transformed, he added, that military bases could be transformed into humanitarian hubs. Operated by whom? Under whose control? I would like to know. The situation in Syria has been volatile since the ouster of longtime President Bashar Assad, a close paka-paka by a coalition led by the Islamist group of paka-paka. Alright, so despite the removal of Assad, Russia has pledged to maintain its presence and support for Syria, confirming that its forces will continue operating from the Khmeimim air base and Tartus naval facilities, and listen to this, which it leases under a long-term agreement signed with Damascus in 2017. So legally, they are there. Not like the other guys in Syria, northeastern Syria. So this is what he says. This also applies to our military bases. This is no longer a presence for military supporting the legitimate authorities against various opposition forces. We need to restructure their functions. One of the obvious tasks that could be used to the Syrians, their neighbors, and many other countries is a humanitarian hub, using the port and airport to deliver humanitarian supplies from Russia and the Persian Gulf countries to African countries. This will be in demand. We are ready to coordinate the details. In principle, the issue has been discussed. There is mutual interest. All right? The unity of Syria should be of interest to all the countries. Well, yes, the unity, but under whose control? I mean, you can be united if you want, but you come and answer to my orders. So they will transform it from a military into a humanitarian hub. Is the Russian military going to deliver the humanitarian? Yeah. Will it control it? Yeah. Will it coordinate things? Yes. I think it's still going to be, it just changes a little bit its role. But the military will be there. But we're not here to defend or protect or attack anybody. All right? Okay, good. Now you know. Next one, let's go to Dmitry Medvedev. Activated. Now that's not good news for the West. And in my conversations, many conversations that I had with friends of mine, acquaintances, we wanted to know who is going to be the second guard, the future guard of Russia. Who's going to be after Putin leaves? Unless he thinks he's going to live forever, you know, like a Queen song. Who wants to live forever? All right, who wants to live forever? I want to live forever. You know, that movie, The Highlander, was such a imbecile movie, if you remember, with Christopher Lambert, or Lambert, whatever you want to call him, and with Sean Connery. You know, when I started loving Sean Connery, I never liked the guy, never. Until I saw that video when he, I think, speaks with that one in 60 Minutes, or whatever her name is, Schneider, whatever his name is. And he is talking about being a little bit rough with the beautiful sex. Then when I heard a guy when he said, well, I think in certain circumstances, since then I was like, the guy didn't bow down, man. He didn't care. All right, go and watch it on YouTube if you want. All right, so where was I? Yeah, the Highlander. They all wanted to kill one another to get the prize, that is to die, to be mortals, because it was so hard to live all these lives forever without dying. Give me that, man. Give me that. I don't need anything. Give me that. It was so, I never could understand the meaning of that. Oh, we're gonna die, gonna be only one, we're gonna win, we're gonna chop our heads off, and the last one is gonna die. It's gonna be dying, man. It's gonna be like normal everybody else. I don't want to be like that. You want to be like that? You know, the reason was because you go to so much human suffering. You can't have a family. I tell you, after about 3 or 4 attempts, you get used to it. That's what it is. You get used to it. Maybe you don't even, get, you see them come and go, see them come and go. You get used to it. Oh, you want to all die. All right. I don't want to. I want to be forever. All right. So, hey, we know we can't because... all right. So let's see what Medvedev does here. Former Russian president visits North Korea. Dmitry Medvedev has held meetings with top officials in Pyongyang and paid homage, hey, Homer, to former North Korean leader and fallen Soviet soldiers. Here is the man, comes over there, arranges that. He knows the protocol. He's very good at it. He was a former KGB agent as well, if I remember correctly. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev has visited North Korea this week to hold talks with top officials and attend celebrations marking the 80th anniversary of the country's ruling Workers' Party. Medvedev, who is currently deputy chairman of Russian Security Council and chairman of the United Russia Party, arrived in North Korean capital on Wednesday at the head of the large delegation. Upon landing, he wrote on the Russian messenger Max, "Friends are together, enemies are getting nervous." Man, okay. And here he is, straight like a... What shoes you got over there? Okay. All right. Good, look at that guy right there. He's not Korean, by the way. Here he is. The ex-president also held talks with Cho Yong-won, secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party, where both sides affirm growing cooperation in politics, in the economy, culture, and military affairs. You got that? Look at this guy. He's going shopping. You know what's over there, right? If something happens, he's going to throw that over him, and that's it. This guy says, what are you doing over there, buddies? There's more Russians here than North Koreans, if you look. Oh, all right. Medvedev also praised, and I'm quoting, the heroic deed of Korean fighters who helped the Russian military liberate Kursk region from a Ukrainian incursion this spring. It was not a Ukrainian, it was a NATO, but nevertheless, these guys will forever remain in the chronicles of friendship between our two countries. He added that Russia-North Korea relations will continue to advance under the leadership of Comrade Kim Jong-un. Hurrah! A new period of unprecedented development thanks to the warm personal friendship in our respected leaders. All right. In 2024, Russia and North Korea signed a comprehensive strategic partnership treaty, which includes a mutual defense clause, stating that if either side comes under armed attack, Kursk, the other will, quote-unquote, provide military and other assistance, like ladies of the night, with all means at its disposal without delay. All right? So that's the reason why these guys are together. They're not like conspiring. They did it in plain view. That's why they did it. It's like the Americans will tell the same thing to the Ukrainians, but they don't. They don't. Why? Because the Ukrainians did not elevate that value to the value of the North Koreans in Russia's eyes. So the same, the Ukrainians are not even treated as North Koreans. Got it? No partnership out there. And we have another one right here. North Korea military aid to Russia to be part of state's history of friendship. That's one thing that some countries, not the West. When I say the West, I know I'm exaggerating, because it's not the West. That's actually two countries. And when I say again two countries, again, I'm exaggerating because it's not two countries. It's some people in those countries. When I say some people in those countries, it's not necessarily that those people are in those countries, because the interests are not in the countries. The interests use those countries and their power, the military power, economic power, spy power, and so on, intelligence powers and so on, to promote their economic and financial interests around the globe. That's what it is. So where do you go? You don't go if you want to change something in an institution, let's say, no, a corporation. You don't go to the assembly line worker and you befriend him and bribe him and get him in your pocket. Fuck that. You're not doing that. You go to the CEO. You go to the owner. You go to Mr. Ford. Ford first, right? The first. Say, hey, Henry, how are you? And let's do this. And Henry Ford said, hey, are you a Stein? Shalom. Get the fuck out. Anyway, so that's what he would do. So that's why the same here. It's mutual respect in this case. Not like in the West. The West treats the West. Again, I'm exaggerating. You understand that. These guys in the West, I'm talking about those interests harnessing, shackling countries and nations. They are treating other countries with disrespect, looking down on them with arrogance. And other countries, like for instance, I don't know, they have pride. Some others don't. Like the Romanians, the guys in charge of Romania have no pride. They're like ladies of the night, not even, because they don't get paid. That's the problem. They just are whores without even getting paid. I'm talking about the country. So the little peanuts Romania receives from NATO, European Union, IMF, and so on, World Bank, and these other baboons, just peanuts compared with their vassalage. That's what it is. On the other hand, you have North Korea, who's a bad country, but is treated as an equal. I mean, how many times did Trump land in Romania? Bang! Zero. Why? Who the fuck is Romania? But North Korea, oh my God, he met the guy. He shook hands like twice. Didn't they meet twice? And they want to meet again. Is North Korea the pariah? Why? It's independent. It has nuclear weapons. Back off or buzz off. I will try to not use fuck off anymore, even though it's one of my favorite leave messages. Please leave. I'm going to try buzz off. Okay. So, I don't know if you like that or not, but I like that better. So here we have these guys. They are treating them as with respect and as equal. What, at least at the surface. The other guys are calling you as they want to call you in front of everyone, and that's very bad. And Trump has this, again, method of exaggerated arrogance. I'm not saying you should not be arrogant. I'm for it. If you're good at something, very good at something, and someone tells you something, hey, baboon, you're not good, I'm good, get out. buzz off. That's what you should do. Well, when you're challenged, it doesn't mean you have to brag about it all the time, because that's not a good taste. But on the other hand, don't say, I'm going to show humility. I don't want to show humility. Why would you show humility? Man, I'm very good at that. That's it. Now, I'm not saying it every day and that's bad taste, but you're still good at it. All right, let's go to these baboons in oil business. Russia Today. India likely to buy more Russian oil in coming months, according to Bloomberg. Bloomberg Steinberg man. Myuk. The country's refiners are reportedly being offered significant discounts from Moscow. India is likely to increase its oil purchases from Russia in the coming months, with refiners in the South Asian nations being offered significant discounts. Russia is offering Indian refiners, why not refineries? Refiners is the ones that refine, discounts of $2 to $2.5 to $2.5 per barrel of Ural's crude compared to that dated Brent, the media outlet citing sources familiar with the matter. Oil imports from Russia to India are projected to rise by 6% in October and average around 1.7 million barrels. The projected rise comes despite the 25% U.S. punitive tariffs imposed on most Indian products for New Delhi continued purchase of Russian oil. Russia's crude accounted for 34% of India's oil imports in September. Very good. So what do you think? Well, how should I put it? Are the tariffs illegal? I don't think they're illegal. You can put tariffs how much you think you can screw yourself. Okay? In this case, the tariffs that the Americans are trying to impose on another country is a kind of like emotional terrorism. And that is, I will hurt you because I want you to change a policy, of your country policy, that has nothing to do with our direct relation. I want you to do something else. I want to show you that I'm in charge of you. And I'm going to hurt you. Well, look at the definition of terrorism. And you're going to find out it exactly matches this. I want to hurt you in order for you to change the policy. Political policy. So you want to hurt a nation because the nation doesn't do what you want them to do? Is that how it works? It seems like, but we should call it as it is. I think it's an economic terrorism. Let's say tomorrow, the only partner of India is the United States of America, and the other guys just buy oil. The United States of America, let's say, imposes tariffs, whatever imposes, and the Indian economy is taking a dump. And then, I don't know, the country becomes, I will use, impoverished, and you're going to have famine. And a lot of children die and so on. Are you responsible for that? Did you cause that? Or their lack of vassalage towards you caused that? It's because they want to be independent and do whatever they want legally? Or because you said, I will hurt you because you don't do what I tell you to do. Therefore, by my actions, your people, your children will die. Is that because of me or is it because of you? Because you say, no, you choose that, I choose that. Yeah, but you hurt me. Buying oil is not hurting you. It hurts someone else that you... All right, my friends. Just remember, now it's United States of America who can do this. Tomorrow it could be someone else doing it to United States of America. And if you say, it's never gonna be, it doesn't mean you're just. You just say, right now we're on top and we go by the law of nature. But remember, societies are created in such a way that allow the weak to rule over the strong. Why? Because the other people who are strong are out there and keep us fighting with one another. Let's move on. So, when Belgium is going to be smacked by Russia, you know why. New voice of Ukraine. More Belgian F-16s could arrive in Ukraine in 2026. So, I'm not going to discuss the old F-16 and all that being shot by the Russians probably at will in Ukraine. What I'm discussing is this. Who cast the first stone? Who attacks first? I attack you or you attack me? Do you react or I react? Now Ukraine if Russia and Ukraine get at it, Belgium has nothing to do with that. Unless Belgium wants to get in. That means attacks, providing money, providing weapons, providing support, political, economic, military, whatever support they do. So it was not Russia attacking Belgium, but Belgium attacking Russia. Now I want you to look at Belgium, how big Belgium is, what its power it is. One Oreshnik will bring Belgium into line ever. All right, so remember, these guys are sending lethal weapons or aid to the Ukrainians to kill the Russians. However you want to call the Russians, aggressors, whatever you want to call them. Without this, those guys can't hurt me. That means I'm going to take care of you in the future. So when you see drones, and they don't know if they're Russian drones, they don't know, of flying over Belgium's military facilities and so on, and they're, oh my God, we are under attack. Russia's hybrid war, really? Is that a consequence of that? You can say, well, isn't the F-16s sent to Ukraine a consequence of Russia's invasion? Okay, was the Russia invasion a consequence of 2014 coup in Ukraine organized by Isn't the Russians' reaction to what's going on over there in Ukraine because Ukraine broke its neutrality and invited NATO in and CIA bases? Under the 1994 neutrality signed treaty, they were not supposed to do that. Who overthrew Viktor Yanukovych's government, democratically elected, and legal government in Ukraine in 2014? Was it the Maidan? Some spontaneous Ukrainians, you think? No, it was not. So, you did first. You are part of NATO. NATO enhanced, advanced towards Russia under the promise in 1991, no 1 inch eastward expansion from NATO if Soviet Union agrees to the unification of Germany. And they agreed. And the other guys lied. So, however you go, you're going to realize it goes to this guy's first punch. And the Russians kept reacting. All right, that's the first one. And the second one, I'm going to show you who's going to pay for the assets that these guys robbed from Russia. Did not steal, because stealing is like you don't know. They know who the thief is, but he's not a thief. He's a robber. All right, rubbernecking. Ukrainska Pravda. Belgium, the same guys, sets red lines on proposed 140 billion euros loan for Ukraine from Russian assets. Belgium has set out its red lines regarding the use of Russian assets they just froze to finance a 140 billion euros reparations loan for Ukraine. That's about $150 billion about for Ukraine, including an agreement that the European Union countries must share all current and future risks linked to the plan, amounting to more than 170 billion euros. And what you need to know is this. Ready? The Belgian government fears it could be held liable for any legal or financial claims filed by Russia, and therefore insists that all European countries provide guarantees for the loan, which would effectively mean using taxpayers' money to cover any potential costs. European Union. Got it? That's the way it works. It's always, my friends, there's no such a thing as a free meal. Nothing. Someone made that, someone paid for it, someone prepared it, someone got the cost, got the shaft. In this case, always the taxpayers. If they, the leaders, public servants, screw up something in your country, you know how they will solve it? Raise taxes. That's what they did. If they made decisions, they screw up a life, economy, or whatever they do, they will come back and take it from you. From their mistakes, you pay, but you benefit from their good decisions. Well, that's how should I, normality. I'm going to give you an example, a short example. When I used to work for the government, we had a union. The union had no teeth because as a government employee, you could not strike. This is the only way you keep the employer into, into line. That's the only weapon you really have. I'm not going to work anymore. That's it. Without that, you have nothing. So I was speaking with this high up in the union business, and he was telling me about the soft power, like what, going and drinking with some imbeciles in the state, in the government, which were not, these were not their business. They were departments. They were state departments. They were not their business, like his mommy and daddy. So they were employees as well. They had no power, you know. And the union used to come and tell us, this guy particularly, well, we secured, we spoke with management, high office, we secured the 1.2% raise for you guys, and in 3 years it's going to be 2.8. We secured 2.8% in 3 years raise. How much is the inflation? I was telling this guy. You didn't secure shit. We're losing. And his argument was counter-arguments. Yeah, but zero is better. I don't want zero. I want to win. We're losing. That is, instead of losing with 10-0, we lose to 10-1. We scored one time, and that's why, at least we scored once. We're still losing. We still lost. I don't send you over there as a union member, the whatever you are in the union, big shot, to lose. You lose, get the fuck out. I want to win. I want 50% raise. That's what I want. You can't deliver it, out. Union can't deliver it, dissolve it. Remember, if you are under the inflation, you are losing every time. And the inflation is not the one that tell you 3.5. Go and see the inflation at milk, bread, gas, electricity. This is the inflation, not the diamonds or the Bentleys. Oh, the Bentleys got an inflation of 3%. That's the inflation. How many people buy Bentleys? And so on. So I hate when these guys say, at least we won something. No, we lost. We got penetrated. Instead of being penetrated 1,000 times, we were penetrated 200 times. 200 versus 5,000. Woohoo! No, I want to be the penetrator. How about that one? I don't want to be penetrated. All right. So here, my friends, that's how with these guys right here is always going to fall on us. And those guys are over there say, well, Jan is nice, I don't know, ich weiß es nicht, I don't know, man. And then the work within the system, meaning vote them out? No, man, no. Criminal liability right there. You screw up a country for 5 generations from now on, and you just leave the office, and then you get a job as a CEO in a board of directors of Raytheon or something? Or Lockheed Martin or Exxon Mobil? Is that what it is? Yeah. No. You're going to be held accountable, liable, and say criminally. And in college, I say, well, it feels like this, nobody we want to be. No. Weak people don't want responsibility. If you know you're good, you're going to go over there, you're going to do a good job. Oh, I don't want to be. No. You should be liable. Nobody would like to be in charge if you're held liable. Then stay the fuck home. Let the guy with balls and responsibility to go over there. Fuck off. Buzz off. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.